IELTS reading passage 3. You should spend about 20 minutes on questions 27 to 40, which are based on reading passage 3 below. Reducing the effects of climate change. Mark Rowe reports on the increasingly ambitious geoengineering projects being explored by scientists. A. Such is our dependence on fossil fuels, and such is the volume of carbon dioxide already released into the atmosphere, that many experts agree that significant global warming is now inevitable. They believe that the best we can do is keep it at a reasonable level, and at present, the only serious option for doing this is cutting back on our carbon emissions. But while a few countries are making major strides in this regard, the majority are having great difficulty even stemming the rate of increase, let alone reversing it. Consequently, an increasing number of scientists are beginning to explore the alternative of geoengineering, a term which generally refers to the international large-scale manipulation of the environment. According to its proponents, geoengineering is the equivalent of a backup generator if Plan A, reducing our dependency on fossil fuels, fails. We require a Plan B, employing grant schemes to slow down or reverse the process of global warming. B. Geoengineering has been shown to work, at least on a small localized scale. For decades, many May Day parades in Moscow have taken place under clear blue skies, aircraft having deposited dry ice, silver ionides, and cement powder to dispense clouds. Many of the schemes now suggest look to do the opposite and reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the planet. The most eye-catching idea of all is suggested by Professor Roger Angel of the University of Arizona. His scheme would employ up to 16 trillion abandoned spacecraft, each weighing about 1 gram from transparent sunlight, referring refracting sunshade in an orbit 1.5 million kilometers above the Earth. This could, argues, argues Angel, reduce the amount of light reaching the Earth by 2%. C. The majority of geoengineering projects so far carried out, which include planting forests in deserts and depositing iron in the ocean to stimulate the growth of algae, have focused on achieving a general cooling of the earth. But some look specifically at reversing the melting at the poles, particularly the Arctic. The reasoning is that if you replenish the ice sheets and the frozen waters of the high latitudes, more light will be reflected back into space, so reducing the warming of the ocean and atmosphere. The concept of releasing aerosol sprays into the stratosphere above the Arctic has been proposed by several scientists. This would involve using sulfur or hydrogen sulfide aerosols so that the sulfur dioxide would form clouds, which would in turn lead to a global dimming. The idea is modeled on historic volcanic explosions such as that of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines in 1991, which led to a short-term cooling of the global temperature by zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius. Scientists have also scrutinized whether it's possible to preserve the ice sheets of Greenland with reinforced high-tension cables, preventing icebergs from moving into the sea. Meanwhile, in the Russian Arctic, geoengineering plans include the planting of millions of birch trees, whereas the region's native evergreen pines shade the snow and absorb radiation birches would shed their leaves in winter, thus enabling radiation and to be reflected by the snow, rerouting Russian rivers to increase cold water flow to ice-forming areas that could also be used to slow down warming, say some climate scientists. A. But will such schemes ever be implemented? Generally speaking, those who are most cautious about geoengineering are the scientists involved in the research. Angel says that his plan is no substitute for developing renewable energy, the only permanent solution. And Dr. Phil Rash of the United States-based Pacific Northwest National Laboratory is equally guarded about the role of geoengineering. I think all of us agree that if we were to end geoengineering on a given day, then the planet would return to its pre-engineered condition very rapidly and probably within 10 to 20 years. That is certainly something to worry about. F. The United States National Center for Atmospheric Research has already suggested that the proposal to inject sulfur into the atmosphere might affect rainfall patterns across the tropic and the Southern Ocean. Geoengineering plans to inject stratospheric aerosol or to seed clouds um, would act to cool the planet and act to increase the extent of sea ice, says Rash. But all the models suggest some impact on the distribution of precipitation. G. Further risk with geoengineering projects is that as you can overshoot, says Dr. Dan Lund, from the University of Bristol School of Geological Science, who has studied the likely impacts of the sunshade and aerosol schemes on the climate. You may bring global temperatures back to pre-industrial level, but the risk is that the poles will still be warmer than they could be on the tropics. On the tropics will be cooler than before industrialization. To avoid such a scenario, Lund says Angel's project would have to operate at half strength, all of which reinforces his view that the best option is to avoid the need for geoengineering altogether. The main reason why geoengineering is supported by many in the scientific community is that most researchers have little faith in the ability of politicians to agree and then bring in the necessary carbon cuts. Even leading conservation organizations see the value of investigating the potential of geoengineering. According to Dr. Martin Summercorn, climate change advisor for the World Wildlife Fund's International Arctic Program, human-induced climate change has brought humanity to a position where we should not exclude thinking thoroughly about this topic and its possibilities. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, to please subscribe our channel and to press like and bell button and to get the fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and good